Welcome back to the Professor's Lab. I'm Professor V, and this is round 3, the final round of a special league tournament where players could switch decks between rounds that happened at Die Hard Games on January 4th, 2024. If you didn't know, Die Hard League happens every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, featuring casual and tournament play of whatever format anyone wants, really. More info in the description. League Challenge going to happen Thursday, January 11th at 6 p.m. Central at Die Hard Games. And check out Pokemon's event locator for premier events at Die Hard Games, such as League Challenges, League Cups, and pre-releases. Please hit that like button right quick. Subscribe to this channel. Ring the bell for notifications. Say what you need to say in the comments and all that other good free stuff. But anyways, let me make sure my playback is where I want it to be. And then let's get into this game where we have on the left Lost Cramorant, on the right Gholdengo. Gholdengo is going first, it appears. This is the Gholdengo Palkia variant, of course. And our player is taking a look at their hand and deciding what is the best order of operations here in this round 3 of our special league tournament. Ultra Ball being played. I'm not sure if this deck plays Path to the Peak, Battle VIP Pass or not. Either way, Ultra Ball is going to discard Water Energy and Letter of Encouragement in order to search the deck for any Pokemon of any type. Basic, Evolved, whatever. And our player is going to take this opportunity to take a peek through their deck and see what might be in there as well. Radiant Greninja is the target of the Ultra Ball this time with its special all-powerful Concealed Cards ability. If you discard a energy card, basic or special, you can draw 2 cards with Radiant Greninja. So our player is going to get shuffled up here, take a look at their hand and see what's next. Concealed Cards, discarding that water energy and drawing 2 cards. Pokestop is put into play. That infamous stadium has you discard the top 3 cards of your deck, and then if any of those 3 cards are items, you put them into your hand. So we're losing a boss's orders, and I can't quite tell what that other card is. Let's take a look here, going back in time in the Professor's Lab to see what that first card was off of that the Pokestop. Pokestop is not good to me. It is a Feebas that's going to go away along with the boss's orders, but that all-important Battle VIP Pass is found here. That card you can only play on your first turn. When you do, you search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon and put them on your bench. Will you be happy to see that card rotate or be sad? Let me know in the comments. The infamous Battle VIP Pass found the beautiful, trippy Palkia V. Ancient form Palkia V, is that what it is? Makes me want to play Legends Arceus again. I'm going to play that as soon as I'm done beating the Scarlet Violet DLC. Anyways, Palkia V is found as well as a backup Gimmighoul. Looking good so far on Gimmighoul's side. Passes things over to our Lost Cramorant player. Double Cramorant put onto the bench from the hand, and then a Battle VIP Pass is slammed down. That's going to let our player search the deck for 2 more basic Pokemon to add to the bench. Comfey and something else going to be found here. That Manaphy, very good, as that Radiant Greninja on the opposing side is glaring down. But Manaphy says, nope, you cannot hit the bench now with attack damage thanks to my ability. And that's it with the Battle VIP Pass. Gonna shuffle things up again. Radiant Greninja, of course, has the Moonlight Shuriken attack. It does 90 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. Any 2 Pokemon. It could be on the bench or in the active spot. But that Water Veil shuts off the attack damage to bench Pokemon. Thanks, Manaphy. Course Experiment being played next. That supporter card lets the player take a look at the top 5 cards of the deck. They keep 3 of them and send 2 of them to the Lost Zone. So here you see our player consulting their hand, deciding what cards are best there. Getting some extra help from their opponent there. Hisuian Heavy Ball, for sure being sent to the Lost Zone. Let's see what the other card is. Countercatcher? Okay. The other three cards are more important now than that Countercatcher is. We will potentially miss it later, but either way, Comfey in the active spot is going to use Flower Selecting. Its ability lets the player take a look at the top two cards of the deck, put one into the Lost Zone, and keep the other. Course Experiment put into the Lost Zone. Wow, in favor of Path to the Peak. Okay. Basic switch allowing the Comfey to switch places. Second Flower Selecting coming down here. Looks like another Path to the Peak is an option, and that is put into the Lost Zone. We got the 4 in the Lost Zone now, so Cramorant's Lost Provisions ability is online. Switch carding into that Cramorant. Its ability says if there's 4 more cards in the Lost Zone, Cramorant can attack for free. Taking the KO on the opposing Gimmighoul, not before Path to the Peak being slammed down, shutting off those Rule Box Pokemon abilities. No more ability Radiant Greninja or Palkia V-Star. So long as the stadium's in play, of course. Fire Energy being put onto the bench Comfey for a potential pivot for next turn. Readying it on up. Nothing left to do but to spit disrespectfully for 110 damage on the opposing Gimmighoul, taking the KO and the first prize of the game. Palkia V comes into the active spot. Play resumes on Palkia's side, who immediately evolves into Palkia V-Star. Worker is the perfect supporter in this case, getting rid of that Path to the Peak and allowing the player to draw 3 cards. Gimmighoul evolves on the bench. Radiant Greninja uses its ability, discarding an energy card, drawing 2 more cards. That Gimmighoul has the ability coin bonus as well that allows the player to draw more cards. So let's see what the player can accumulate this turn and execute. Path to the Peak is gone. That's the biggest thing here. So those Rule Box abilities are online. We see 3 Rule Box Pokemon on Palkia's side with abilities. So very happy to see that Path to the Peak out of here. We're debating on using either Star Portal, Palkia V-Star's ability. There we go. We're going to do Star Portal. During your turn, you may attach up to 3 basic water energy from your discard pile to your water Pokemon in any way you like. Alright, so we had a couple water energy accelerated there onto the active Palkia V-Star from the discard pile thanks to the V-Star Power Star Portal, excuse me. Palkia is powered up and ready to attack. Steel or metal energy attached to the bench Gholdengo. It has the Make It Rain attack. We'll talk about that as it becomes relevant, but for now it's going to use its coin bonus ability. Once during your turn you may draw a card. If this Pokemon's in the active spot, draw 1 more card. So just 1 card drawn here. And the Nest Ball is found and played. Nest Ball lets you search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it on the bench. You cannot play Nest Ball if your bench is full, if you were wondering. So we have the KO here with Subspace Swell, Origin Form Palkia V-Star's attack. Subspace Swell 60 plus, this attack does 20 more damage for each bench Pokemon, so more than enough to KO the 110 HP opposing Cramorant. Palkia V-Star has 280 HP as well, so it's a big Pokemon. It's at least going to take 2 prizes, you can safely bet. Subspace Swell for the KO. Comfey with the fire is put into the active spot, and play resumes on Lost Cramorant's side. Very good first couple of turns here our players are having. Our Lost player starts off with a Flower Selecting. They're going to look at the top 2 cards and decide which one to keep and which one to send to the Lost Zone. Consulting the hand to better inform the decision there. Of course, this decision is based off of what's in play, what's in the discard pile, what's in the Lost Zone, what's in the prize cards, what's in the deck, what's in hand. So much to consider with this Lost engine. Maybe a little less so with this version of the deck. compared to others, but who knows. Either way, counter catcher sent to the lost zone there. The second one, actually, as both players are tied on prize cards right now, so that's basically a blank card compared to the other card that was kept, I guess. Another card debating on being played here. And what's it going to be? What does our lost Cramorant player have for us this turn? The attack is there already, so first going to retreat, manually retreat into that Cramorant, and actually opting on not playing any cards from the hand yet. They really want to play that card, but they really don't at the same time. Clara, I think, was the card, or maybe Arvin. Maybe debating on one of the two. Which one is the best in this case to play? Boss's orders actually coming down here, bringing that Gholdengo from the bench into the active spot, and swinging on it for 110 damage for free thanks to lost provisions. And play resumes over on Gholdengo's side. It uses its coin bonus ability, drawing 2 cards in this case because it's in the active spot. Thanks for bringing him into the active spot, boss's orders. Now I can draw 2 cards. But maybe the player's just thinking it's a lot easier for me to 2-shot this Gholdengo with my deck than it is to deal with the Palkia V-Star at this point. So might as well go for the thing they can do now and deal with the big threat later. We shall see. Wonder what 2 cards the Gholdengo gave our Gholdengo player here as they take a look at the cards in their hand and decide which is the best course of action for this turn. I see an Irida, so that way that can get some items and more water Pokemon in play. But actually going to go for a Ultra Ball here. That card, you discard 2 cards and you can search your deck for a Pokemon of any type that you want, basic or evolution. And it's going to get rid of that useless Battle VIP pass and a water energy. Of course, basic energy can be recycled in this deck thanks to superior energy retrieval, so not too bad going into the discard pile to find a second Gholdengo and evolve it on the bench there. Now we have access to another coin bonus for this turn. But not before Irida being played. That Irida lets you search your deck for an item and a water Pokemon, of course. Very good for finding those superior energy retrieval. And back up Palkias if needed. It can also find the Palkia V-Star, the Radiant Greninja. I'm not sure what other Pokemon, water Pokemon are played in this deck. Lumineon can be found if that's in the list. I'm going to go for Manaphy and Earthen Vessel. Manaphy most likely just to thin the deck out. Of course, I don't think we're afraid of attack damage to the bench against Lost Cramorant. Yet, I guess it does play maybe TMs that can do that, but either way, that Earthen Vessel is going to discard Manaphy in order to search the deck for 2 basic energy cards. 2 Metal Energy being found off of that Earthen Vessel here, energizing the hand, and Gholdengo's Make It Rain attack, discarding one of the energy with Radiant Greninja to draw 2 more cards. Gholdengo on the bench uses Clone bonus to draw another card. We're getting lots of cards in the hand here. Drawing cards is good in the Pokemon trading card game. Our players seeing how many energy cards are in the discard pile, potentially eyeing up a superior energy retrieval for the turn. Not before another Earthen Vessel, discarding a 4th basic energy in order to pull 2 more basic energy from the deck, a water and a metal this time. We've got all the energy, enough to make it rain. That's Gholdengo EX's attack for 1 Metal Energy 50 times. Discard a number of basic energy cards from your hand. This attack does 50 damage for each card you discarded this way. Energy attached to the active Gholdengo. In order to fulfill its retreat cost, actually, it manually retreats into the powered up Palkia V-Star. Yes, let's go into the more efficient, bigger attacker in this case. I can get the energies back with superior energy retrieval later if I need to, and just take the KO with Subspace Swell. Comfey, I believe, goes into the active spot and play resumes on Lost Cramorant's side. And let's see how they can respond. Can they clean up the KO on the damaged Gholdengo, or do we just start chipping away at the active Palkia V-Star? Artisan put into play. That stadium lets the player, or each player during their turn, search for a basic non-rule box Pokemon and put it onto the bench. We need more attackers here, or in this case more support. Okay, that Articuno with the ice symbol, I believe it's called, ability, gives plus 10 damage to Cramorant's attack in this deck, so it could swing for 120, 130, 140, depending on how many Articuno are put into play. Paired with the damage modifiers like Defiance Band, other damage modifiers are very effective. Flower selecting, letting our player look at the top 2 cards. Do they have an interesting choice here? They're not even looking at the hand yet, so must be very interesting. Okay, now we're consulting the hand and seeing what's in there, trying to use that process of elimination to find the best card they can here. Getting rid of the lost one forever is definitely decisions to be made. Let's go with that. I wish I seen what the 2 cards were as well. Nothing too crazy in the lost zone. Escape rope, okay, going away, kept in favor of that TM Devolution. Alright, I see what's going on here. Clara being the supporter per turn now, bringing back from the discard pile to the hand 2 Cramorant and a basic fire energy. The Cramorants hit the bench instantly. Basic fire gets manually attached to the active Comfey. Defiance Man goes onto the bench Cramorant. Comfey retreats into that Defiant Cramorant. Defiance Band, if you're behind on prize cards, then it's plus 30 damage to your attack. Our Lost Cramorant player is behind on prizes. Defiance Band is online. So we are currently doing 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 150 damage to the opposing Palkia V-Star. Lining things up for the 2-shot. Spit disrespectfully and pass. Play resumes on Palkia Gholdengo's side. I guess you want to start attacking with the fresh Gholdengo. At this point, I'm not sure if the player is aware of the Technical Machine Devolution strategy in the opponent's deck. Either way, they're going to go for an Artisan and fail at this point, not wanting to get more Gholdengo out, or they don't have access to them in the deck. So I wonder what our player decides is the best attacker this turn. Wouldn't be the worst to attack with Palkia and force the opponent to have the necessary modifiers to take the KO on it. And it took the 3 prize cards, so it's more than fulfilled its value. Either way, another Gimmighoul joins the party on the bench here. Our player is going to take a look at the energy count in the discard pile, something like 6. Taking a little peek at the lost hand here. There is a Defiance Man in that hand. The TM Devolution, so there's plays. There are things lined up. Worker being a supporter per turn, discarding the stadium and drawing 3 cards for our Gimmighoul player here. Gimmighoul, Gholdengo, Palkia. We got all the homies here today. And Super Rod being played. That item card lets you shuffle from your discard pile back into your deck any combination of up to 3 basic energy or Pokemon cards. So Gimmighoul, Phoebos and Energy going back into the deck. Nest Ball being played to fetch out from the deck the Phoebos and put it instantly onto the bench. Phoebos evolves into that Melodic with Dew Guard ability. Whenever your opponent plays a supporter card from their hand, prevent all effects of that card done to you or your hand. So Melodic basically protects against opposing Ionos, Judges, disruption cards to the hand. Very interesting here in this deck that likes to accumulate a massive hand size. First coin bonus coming down, drawing a card. Second coin bonus being used for another. Must feel good having all four Gholdengo out when it happens. One in the active. Oh my goodness, we're talking about things like Fusion Strike system and Mew VMAX here. Alright, our players in the tank now, deciding what is the best course of action, who's going to be the best attacker. In this case, I see the superior energy retrieval in hand, so if we want to retreat into the fresh Gholdengo and take a KO with it, that can happen. Or just attack with the Palkia and force the opponent to have the combo in order to take the KO on it. Let's see how much HP that Palkia has left. 280 minus 150, I think was the amount done. 130. So yeah, our Lost Cramorant player will definitely need some damage modifiers in order to take the KO. Either way, our Gholdengo player uses concealed cards to draw a couple more cards off of that Radiant Greninja. And let's see who they decide to attack with. I don't think you need to build your board anymore at this point. And yep, just going to swing with the Palkia V-Star. This is very okay to happen. That Palkia V-Star took 3 prizes. It's worth 2. We're good to go. Cramorant comes into the active spot, and play resumes over on Lost Cramorant's side. They need to figure out how to do 130 damage, and I think we're there with the Defiance Band in hand. Also, second Articuno will do the job. Either way, Arven being played to search the deck for a tool card and an item. Nest Ball and Bravery Charm being played here. I wonder if the Nest Ball is being played and we don't need to be shuffling yet. But we'll see. It just depends on what's in hand. They could be just thinning it out of the deck and have what Pokemon they need in hand already. Bravery Charm being put onto the active Cramorant, boosting its HP by 50. That's a big bird now. Nest Ball being played to find the second Articuno. So we got double Articuno out with their abilities. Cramorant is now doing 130 damage. Yep. Exactly enough to clean up the KO on this Palkia V-Star and tie things up. Defiance Band can be held in hand now, thanks to the second Articuno being put into play. Nothing left to do but take the KO. Our players are calculating things here. And yep, perfect KO with that Spit Disrespectfully. Fresh Gholdengo put into the active spot, and play resumes over on Gholdengo's side. Gholdengo evolved onto the bench. Look at all this bling right here. Look at these full art Gholdengo party in here. Superior energy retrieval being played now. You discard 2 cards, and then you can put up to 4 basic energy from your discard pile into your hand. Don't need any more Gholdengo. Battle VIP pass is useless, so easy discards there. Pretty easy. Looks like 4 metal energy going to be put back in the hand. And is there a second superior energy retrieval? There's 4 water energy as well being eyed up. Metal energy attached to the active Gholdengo. And do I hear a storm cloud coming? Is it about to rain? We do have a tough opposing Cramorant here with its Bravery Charm on. Pokestop is the stadium put into play this turn. I imagine it's going to be used if it's put into play. You don't want to really just give it to your opponent either. They could use it as well. Either way, another superior energy retrieval, discarding a couple more cards in order to bring back 4 water energy this time from the discard pile, back into the hand. We have a massive hand here. No wonder you want to protect that hand with the Melodic and Dewguard. Gotta make sure I've got one of those, apparently. Yeah, I wonder how many cards are in that hand right now. If you guys were able to count it, let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. And slamming down that Roxanne. You can only play that supporter if your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining. When you play it, both players shuffle their hands into their deck. The Roxanne player gets 6 cards from the top of the deck, and the opponent gets 2. So definitely some disruption. And comeback or get ahead card in this instance, as both players have 3 prize cards remaining here in this mid-game of the final round of the special Switch tournament. Let's get a nice, good shuffle. Let's be sufficiently randomized, so that way no judges have to be called here, and we can let destiny dictate the end game. 6 cards for our Roxanne player, 2 for the opponent. Disruption. Man, all that energy went back into the deck. Alright, first coin bonus being used here since it's in the active spot. 2 cards are drawn. And I think we need the like 5-ish energies to take the KO. 4 energy. Wow, that was nice to be found there. 4 energies discarded in order to take the KO on the Brave Cramorant in the opposing active spot there. Make it rain. Comfey comes into the active spot and play resumes on lost Cramorant's side. There is a Cramorant in hand and a switch, so we do have an attack for sure, but I'm going to go with the flower selecting first. See some options here. Send a lost vacuum into the lost zone and keep a TM Devolution. Yeah, we'd definitely like to get some damage on 3 Gholdengo and hit him with the TM Devolution, but I don't think there's enough time for that play with only 2 prizes left on the opponent's side. Cramorant Bravery Charm put into play here. Basic switch into the Brave Cramorant. 160 HP. And are we swinging for 130? Yep, that is the 2-shot. Perfect 2-shot on the 260 HP Gholdengo. So we've got a very interesting matchup here. New to me, as what the Gholdengo deck is to everybody after the results in Japan recently, and the Lost Cramorant, that was the first Lost Zone deck I built, so definitely a fan of both of these here and how they're interacting. Spit disrespectfully for 130 damage, and play is resumed on Gholdengo's side. Starting things off with Pokestop. 1 hit there. Water Energy Worker going into the discard pile, and Nest Ball being kept. I don't think that Nest Ball is very useful at this point. Did we see a coin bonus yet? Or are they using it now? A coin bonus from the active. I think we did. Either way, we'll roll with it. Melodic evolving on the bench there. Dewguard is now online, protecting the hand from disruption. Whenever your opponent plays a supporter card from their hand, prevent all effects of that card done to you or your hand. As a reminder there. And now another worker being played to draw 3 cards, discarding that Pokestop. The opponent does not have access to it now. The hand is nice and full. Heavy worker count, I guess, is for answers to Path to the Peak for this deck. Energy Retrieval being played. That lets you put 2 basic energy from your discard pile back into your hand. Water and Psychic hitting the hand in this instance. And what did we need for? Ooh, look at that League Sableye. Beautiful. Gotta love those prize packs from participating in League. With the player ID, of course. Alright, yeah, I think we needed the 4 energy to KO a Bravery Charmed Cramorant. And we're going for the attack here. Make it rain, discarding 4 basic energy, KOing the opposing Cramorant. 1 prize left on Gholdengo's side. So now we just need a Cramorant in order to take the KO and way to get it into the active. Starting things off with Course Experiment, looking at top 5, sending 2 to the Lost Zone and keeping a Cramorant or a way to find it and a way to switch in order to get this KO here. Let's see if our Lost Cramorant player can put it together and tie things up here in this game. Then they just have to hope their opponent doesn't have a KO. Alright, Articuno being put into the Lost Zone, as well as a TM Blindside. Okay, and then Nest Ball being played to search the deck for a basic Pokemon to add to the bench. We need the Cramorant. Is it in there? Just in order to stay in this game, and still not looking good if the opponent can answer, but alright, I see that Radiant Charizard as well to wrap things up on the next turn if there is a next turn. Very good matchup we have going here. Palkia deck was bigger and faster in this instance, but our Lost Cramorant player kept up and looks like they're going to tie things up at the end of this turn. Alright, our player is looking through the hand, deciding what's the best next course of action here in the final round. There's still a active Comfey flower selecting that can be used, and looks like our player is going for that now. The deck is still thick and healthy at this point, so not too bad to play. Super Rod and another card. Super Rod and Defiance Band. Okay. You probably don't really need Defiance Band at this point, but actually going to get rid of the Super Rod. A Lost Cramorant player knows better than I do. Maybe there's another Super Rod in hand already. Either way, switch card, allowing that Cramorant to come into the active spot. And anything else left to do other than taking the KO? Oh, TM Devolution being played. Okay, very nice. Alright, so TM Devolution was attached to that Cramorant. TM Devolution says put all of the top evolution cards on your opponent's side of the field into their hand, and if the damage counters remain. So if the damage counters were enough or more than enough to take the KO on that Pokemon underneath, they get KO'd. So yeah, there was more than enough damage on these two Gholdengo for the Gimmighouls to be knocked out. So our players still found a way to take 2 prize cards here. That's what they were debating on doing, I guess. And yeah, that definitely is the move, as it limits the potential coin bonuses to be used on the next turn. So yeah, they're very heads-up play by our Lost Cramorant player here. Devolution, devolving all opponent's Pokemon on their side. Of course, only taking the KO on the 2 damaged Gimmighouls that were in play. The Melodic should go to hand as well, but that's just instantly going to get evolved as the turn starts here, as well as the Gimmighoul EX being evolved. So, nothing too crazy going on there. Basic Meadow being attached here. Now we just need 3 energy in order to take the KO to discard. Let's see if our Gimmighoul players got it. They've got it. Superior Energy Retrieval, getting rid of 2 cards, putting 4 basic energy from the discard pile back into their hand. Make it rain for 200 damage. Yep, more than enough to take the KO on the opposing Cramorant, and the last prize of the game. That was cool. Congrats to our January 4th, 2024 Special League Tournament champ, and as always, thank you all for playing some Pokemon. What'd you think of this video and the commentary? Please let me know in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time in the Professor's Lab.